My name is William Lee Hirschman. My job is a repair instrument technician as well as a luthier. I work for myself at the band shop here in Baltimore, Maryland. I started this company about a year ago. I've been professionally repairing musical instruments for over the last decade. I repair everything from stringed instruments, fretted instruments, brass, woodwinds. I went to a couple repair colleges. The first one I attended was Roberta Venn School of Luthery in Phoenix, Arizona. The second college I attended was Minnesota Southeast Technical. That's where I studied the brass and woodwind repair program. Nationwide, there's roughly about 3,000 of us that we know of that are, in the trade as far as brass and woodwind and repair. But as a whole that does exactly what I do, it's under 10,000 people in the country, if not the world. For me, the reason I got into musical instrument repair, I was always that kid that loved to know how things worked. I had to take it apart and put it back together and just to figure it out and understand it. As young as 10 years old, I took apart my first guitar and started messing with it, trying to figure out how to put it back together. I get to help people. I'm not out there selling people headaches. I'm fixing their headaches from something they either bought or something they got. And I'm giving them a chance to keep Grandpa's guitar going for another 30 years. One of the big things I love about this job is the look on their face when they first open up the case. It's that first reveal. They open it up and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know my trumpet could be that shiny again, or I never thought that dent was going to come out of my trombone. And just that instant gratification, it makes my job totally awesome. Besides the fact I get to play with fire and hit things for a living, I just love generally helping people, and I get to see all kinds of different musicians, from the first-time musician to your world-class international recording artists or whatever. And it's just really cool, but they all have that look of a little kid on Christmas Day when they open up their case and everything's working the way it does. And to me, that's the most special part about my job personally. When I first got going, I wish I had the slightest insight of how complicated this would be. The saxophone, for example, it's a woodwind instrument, but it's a brass instrument as well. So I have to have metalworking skills. I have to have mechanical skills. I have to have all these different parts of knowledge that I never thought I was going to need to know. I had to learn how to machine, how to make parts, how to thread, how to cut parts on the lathe and on the mill. It's just, you have such a narrow scope of view, and then once you get into it, you realize, wow, this is actually very complex. This is a highly engineered piece of machinery. Every time you open one up, they're never identical to a repair you've done before. If we can't fix what's there or what's missing, we have to build it from scratch. Brass wears out, wood wears out, plastic wears out, so all these different little components of where they are, we got to get creative in a lot of situations and just start from scratch. If it's something that you can't do, there's somebody out there in this trade that will do it or help you do it. I'm going to work in this trade until I physically can't anymore. I always say that I'm going to end up dying at my bench. I can't imagine a life where I don't have a musical instrument in my hand or a tool. Fixing, that trumpet for little Johnny or little Susie's flute and just helping them out. So, I don't see me ever stopping to do that, not in this lifetime.